let's get into it. Let's do the thing. Let's play the game. I think I am relatively capable of doing that thing. Uh-oh. Sudokoid mentioned. Yeah. There has definitely been some super Sudokoid. Dark Inversion has been a hell of a run, and it's still ongoing for me. I'm glad to hear that you're close to finishing. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, it is Mark Magus' Hanabi night, isn't it? We'll see if we can toss him a raid at the end of the stream. That would be a good idea. Alright, so where are we? What are we doing? What have we accomplished here? I think when last we left our intrepid hero, I had just adorned something. Forest Trailhead, probably? That seems likely. That seems plausible. And then I was gonna go back and do, like, some of the earlier regions. Looks like we adorned Shape Bank. That's cool. That's cool. That's great. That's cool and great. So we have some choices as to where to go here. Basically everywhere in the entire game, with the exception of whatever this is. Secluded Garden, I think? Secluded Garden, yeah. Still not in the Secluded Garden. But I have 5, 6, 7, 8 windows adorned. So I guess if we clean up Hedge Maze and then pick one more window, we'll be able to get into the Secluded Garden, I think. Fully completed 10 areas, yep. Alright, well that's pretty good. Jim rating out, is it a blue moon? Look, I do it whenever I remember to do it, which, freely admitted, is not that often. You're not wrong. Ah. 2 little red boys for Hedge Maze. Alright, great. You haven't gotten here? Oh, how deep into the mechanics are you, Nell? Like, how many? Oh, okay. I can accidentally click outside of the window. That's terrible news. that is new. That is not pre-existing in my workflow. How deep in are you? How many of the mechanics have you seen? Because yeah, I guess if I go into Hedge Maze, you completed the 3 windows in the castle. So that would be here. That would be Loopy, Watchtower, and whatever's over here. Difference? Ooh, okay. Oh, well, in that case, nothing over here is going to be new. Like, I'm not going into mechanics that you haven't seen before. They might be new puzzles, though. So, yeah, I guess that's fair. If you don't want to watch puzzles that you haven't seen before get solved, then that is completely understandable. All right. Well, thank you for the raid anyway. Thanks for coming by. And, you know, salute. And we'll get into it. Oh, whoa, this has compass mechanics? Why? Compass isn't even ready yet. Okay, I guess we're doing compass things. Never mind. There are gonna be new mechanics. Heading to a movie soon anyway, fair enough. Oh, this is a 7. I don't know what this is. But this is like... I see. Something's happening. Oh, Precision 7. I see. It's one of those puzzles. And this is just compass. Horrifying. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess let's start here then. 57? Oh. I see. I see why this puzzle is weird. There's a lot going on here. Okay. Alright. How much? 138. Oh. Alright, let's do what we can with the space we have available. This is a 3, so it needs 1, 2, 3, presumably, except this is a 2. And it can't go down without joining this. So this has to be one of the 3. And then in order to get more, it has to be like that. So now it has 2, this has 3, this can't go down anymore. This needs a 1, so that's 1 resolved. This is interesting. It feels like this and this are just going to connect to each other, and that's just going to be 57. Whatever, we're just going to have an Area 58 region, and then everything else is doing whatever else it's doing. We should try and find other easier to complete ones. Like, this is interesting, this 2 here, because it needs to come outside. Right? It needs to get its 2 left of here by coming out through here. Which means it needs to be part of this 3, which means this 3 probably isn't completed. It might be completed just in here. But it needs 2 out here in some arrangement. And this 3 needs 2 more, either up here or from left or right, going up some. This 3 is also interesting. I'm not sure if this 3... needs to get... Oh, it can't get taken, actually, because there's a wall here. Unless I do it this way, then it can. And this can just be a region on its own. But these 2 join. These 2 definitely join. Unclear whether this does. What do we know that it can't connect or must connect? Yeah, these 2 almost assuredly just link up. Actually, if I just draw that path, just this very obvious 30. Okay, so it needs another 28 for this to work. Okay. But it definitely comes out to at least here. And this definitely comes out to at least there. And is unlikely to pick up anything else. Unlikely to pick up any additional compasses. It's not impossible for it to pick up an additional compass here or there, but it's real unlikely. Definitely goes up through here, because I am still confident that it needs to connect up here, despite there being enough room in the puzzle for them to not connect. It seems very likely that they do. So it's got to come up through here, and then either goes through here or through here. Again, either through the right side or the left side in order to connect up here. I'm going to keep working off of the theory that these 2 are connected in some way. Which means that this here is doing something different, right? It's got this 1, so that's got to go 1, like that. This 3 needs 3. And if it's going to get 3, it needs to pick up either the 1 or the 2. And if it picks up the 2, it can't pick up the 2. It can't go far enough over to pick up the 2 without also picking up the 1, which they can't be in the same region. So this 3 needs to pick up the 1, which means this 3 is the 1. Suspicious vibes, simply solving a lot. I mean, that's always how I run my life. Or at least how I run the puzzles in this game. Especially compasses. Like, I don't know how to deal with compasses from, like, first principles, right? I don't know how to do, you know, like, as logical as I would like to be for compasses. Compasses and rose windows, especially. Although rose windows, sometimes you can. Sometimes you can't. But yeah, this 3 takes that, and this 2 then needs to go up here. And in order for this 1 to have a 1, it needs to combine with this 2. So these are resolved now. So this is good and done, and I'm leaving it alone forever. What next? What next? these two fours probably connect. Like, you could do something like this, and then both of them are handled. You can't do logical over 75% of the time in this game. It kind of depends on what the puzzle's doing, right? What directions the puzzle's going. Man, now that I'm not playing full screen, I even more wish that I could zoom in on these puzzles. This thing still bothers me. It's starting to look like the best way for this to do what it's doing is to connect to this 3 and then connect like that around it. So now this 3 is gonna go, this needs exactly 2 to the left. And this needs 1 more up, and it can't be to the right here, so it has to be this. And then this needs 2 to the left, so 1, 2, something like that. Probably something like this. I guess it's still not... None of that is guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed is this so far, because these connect here. I guess if this goes down, then it can't include this, which means this is trapped as this kind of goes around, wherever this is going around to. Because this is going to have to go... It can't go up through here, so it's got to go left and up, or down here and up here somehow, which seems absolutely absurd. Oh no, it doesn't need to go up. It needs to get to the left side, and it can only get there through here or through here. I mean, I guess all the way around, but that seems drastically unlikely. So it has to this way. Because otherwise this can't get its 3 to the right. Now it has its 3 to the right directly here, so we can't take anything more from here to the right. But this needs 1 more up, so it has to be this one, I think. Because it can only get 2 to the left here. That's a fair point, Garrett. Like, knowing that the puzzle solutions are handcrafted and unique definitely makes me more inclined to try and find the uniqueness, like to try and prove that this is the only way a thing can work. But it also depends on the puzzle. It absolutely depends on the type of puzzle. Yeah, these two probably connect. But anyway, this can now do a variety of different things. I suspect it's going to be required to take the minimum amount of territory that it can, given that it's already, like, cut off some space here. So it's probably going to be something like that, or that, but we don't know yet. Probably like that, actually, because something feels like it needs to kind of run up this way. Which means this is going to want to do this. But I don't have confirmation one way or the other. Let's see, for this one, exactly 1 from this column. But any from this column. This 4. Should we do this 3 here the same way I did this 3? It seems likely. But then this can't come up. So maybe it's something like this. And then this can have its 4 like that. That seems plausible. And then this can have its 4 with this 3. Oh, no, it can't. It can if it goes up that way. Then this has to come out here. And it can take one more, but it can't take the one here. This could also go like that if I needed it to. Unclear one way or the other. This is weird. Because this feels... Oh, no. This can't take it because of the 4. That's why. Alright, this is fine. This is actually fine. This is a little weird, though. This here or there. Like... Oh, no. It needs to go left because this needs 4. And if it goes up, then it doesn't have 4. Yeah, okay. Okay. Can this connect to this? No, that overextends the 2. The 2 can't take the 1 either. That's overextended. But it can do that. Or that, for that matter. But this thing is starting to feel real cut off, real cramped here. Like, how does this 1 get its 1 while still allowing this to grab however much it needs to grab? You know what? Looking at this and looking at how cramped this space is, I'm starting to think that maybe the 57s don't touch and they're both separate. Because there is, in theory, enough space for both of them to get 57 separately. It was like 130 total region. So then it would be like 114, 116 taken up by those 2 regions? Leaving like 14 for everything else? No, never mind. They definitely have to connect. They 100% have to connect. So the question is, where are they connecting, right? This has to come up to here. It could then go either left or up, depending on where it can find a route. But these 4s, I guess if these 4s don't touch, then there's a route. No, this 4. There's never a route through here with this 4 here. Unless the 4 goes all the way up and around, which seems... Which seems not impossible? Like... That actually could be 1, 2, and 1, 2, and then nothing else. Then this is kind of stuck on its own. It's probably not. We'll go with probably not, and continue thinking about how to connect these 2. I mean, if I just, like, naive path here... How big is this? 40. So it still needs another 19 spaces in order to satisfy both of these. This is so fascinating, these connections. Because it's starting to look like the 1 needs to come up to the 3 in order to let this pass. Like, this needs to connect here, like that. Which means this connects to the 2. 4 here, 2 here. And if it then also connects to the 3 is also satisfied. So this works. This needs to come out to here. This needs to grab that. This is looking a little more problematic. I mean, what if we just give everything exactly what it's looking for, right? This is cute, by the way. These 3s making like a donut around the center thing. I actually like that. I think that's adorable. Oh, I see. This seals off and this seals off. So this comes down and around. Is it overextended now? This is exactly correct. As long as I can satisfy everything else, this is exactly correct. I'm not convinced that I can satisfy everything else from here. Like, this doesn't look like it's working. Hey, what's up, Kellerman? Some things are working. But, like, this is actually fully satisfied, but this 3 isn't. It's got to come up to, like, that. And for this 2, that's overextended. So this 2 can't touch that. Oh, but it can come around here and grab this, and then it has the 2 that it needs. Is this just it? Is this just the solution, like, right here? Okay. All right. Suspicions were correct. I don't know how to begin to solve this from a constraints perspective. I guess the way to solve this from a constraints perspective is take up the area required by the 57, by the 257s, and then see how you can fit everything else inside it, because everything else needs to fit within it in order to allow the 257s to be satisfied. So I could have gone from taking away the territory required by the 57s first, and then looking at how much territory was left over, and seeing, like, okay, I can allot this much territory to this compass, etc., 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 and, you know, go from that perspective of, like, this cannot take more than X amount of territory. Yeah, it's a neat puzzle. It's a neat puzzle for sure. All right, so now we're on precision 7. Obligate 7s. This takes 1 down, 4 left, 2 up. So if it can't be 1 down, 4 left, 2 up, because that is no longer 7. So the 4 needs to share with either the 1 or the 2. Right? Like that. It can't go right. Maybe I'll just leave that as is for now. This needs 3 left and 3 right and 1 center, so that's exactly fixed. 3 left needs to be... Yeah, 3 left and 3 right and 1 center, so no extraneous up or down in the middle. Which means it needs at least this, and then some more. And it may or may not be able to close this off, but this and this are definitely walls. Which means it definitely needs exactly this, and now it needs 3 more. 1 on this column and 2 more on this column. And it can't be this, because it can't seal that off. Oh, but this isn't necessarily a column. It can go right in addition to up here. So, yeah, it can't go down from here, but it can go right or up. So we'll leave that as is there. Just finished a cacio e pepe croissant scroll. Scroll? Like you're doing illuminated scroll work? What is a scroll in this context? Is a scroll a kind of food? Like, I normally ask that question in order to be a little bit of a troll. Like, what's that? Is it tasty? But, I've never heard of scroll in the context of food. Precision 7, when I have these few constraints, is messy. This needs to come out, so this can't join that. And this needs 6 more, exactly one of which is one of these 3. So there's not enough room for it to go around and take this, while leaving this room to get its 7. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, like that. Like, there's definitely not enough room here for this to go around. So this is not getting its 1 out of here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it might connect here instead. But something like this might even take this instead. No. Oh, yeah, no, it might, actually. Because it doesn't need to go down if this goes up here. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then something else. Cinnamon scroll, you think, is most Americanized as a Cinnabon. Oh, you mean like the swirly rolls? You're calling those scrolls? I don't think I've ever heard that before. Okay. Yeah, I've heard cinnamon roll. I've never heard cinnamon scroll, but I'm willing to believe that that's real. At any rate, regardless of what this 1 is doing, this is coming out to here. And then we have, you know, some more freedom. This still needs 3 down, though. Heard it once from a friend who moved to Germany, so can confirm. Wow, wild. All right. Yeah, this one needs to grab one of these 2. And then this needs 3 more spots. Five, 6, 7. This does work. So then this could go like that. And then this could have its 3 like this. And this doesn't need to go up anymore. It can't seal off the top, though, so the other 3 would have to be here. Exactly like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, and then something. 1, 2, 3. So this can't go up. This has to go down. 4. This needs to be taken. 5. It can take both of these, and then this could go, like, right and up or something. But most likely it takes the top 2, and then this takes these 2. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. 5, 6, 7. I'll leave this for... Now I'm just drawing lines. Let's not, like, just draw lines. This needs 3 up top and 2 to the right. And some of those can be shared, for example. So then this would have to go up here, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 6. Yeah, I can't go right anymore. So it has to do this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is now 7. This is now 7. That has to come down. This needs 4. And we still have to figure out this. I'm about to say you think it might be an Australianism? Maybe. But I mean, if it's also, you know, European, it might just be that the Americans have decided that they're gonna have their own word for it because, I don't know, scrolls sound like history, and Americans certainly don't like history. but I don't know. So this is a big deal, and this needs to be something separate. To figure out what this is. This is taking a 1 down here somewhere. The furthest away it could possibly be is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is necessary. And this has to be part of the orange. And this, any of these could be part of the light or the dark, depending on how that moves around. US does the same with Swiss rolls. Yes. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, we all know the item in question that we're talking about, which is generic. Like, nobody has a copyright on rolls, presumably. But anybody can call them whatever they want, because again, there's no copyright or trademark. How are we doing here? How many more do I need? Call them anytime. Ahaha! You can call me what you want as long as you don't call me late for dinner. Literally the most tired joke of all time. Listen, I'm no stranger to dad jokes, but that one's beyond the pale. This needs 3 more. This needs 5 more, 8 more. This needs 4 more, 12 more. This needs 4 more, 16. This needs 6, 22. Okay, so the numbers work out correctly as long as the space works out correctly. So let's figure out what this can take while still leaving enough room for everything else, right? So if this needs to go down exactly 1 and still take enough room here, so this can take 6, 7, haha. This can go down here for it's exactly 1, and now the remaining 2 need to go up. 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this takes the remaining space. I did that to myself. It was hard to avoid, honestly. I will admit that it was an own goal. However, it was remarkably difficult to avoid that particular pitfall. I am unfortunately in a situation where I need to count numbers sometimes. There's only so much I can do about that. Anyway, this window's super pretty now, which means we are down to 1 more adorned window before the secluded garden is opened. So I guess let's find out which window we have the most progress on and move forward from there. This needs 20. This needs 25. 14 for match. 26 for palisade. We're not touching Bricky. 20-something for Inequality. 22 for Watchtower. Unless one of these is like especially small, like Solitude is only missing another 22 also, even though it's not even silver yet. Solitude is interesting. I like Solitude. You know what? As far as mechanics go, I like each region can only have one symbol. So let's go do Solitude. Let's go adorn Solitude, shall we? That is a hell of a phrase. Where is Solitude? If I were Solitude, where would I be? Mismatch. Palisade. Palisade's also a good window. Area number. Range. Size separation. Boxy, non-boxy. Inequality. Watchtower. Difference. What if this window is impossible to find? Bricky. Disaster. So Loopy's over here. Where is it supposed to be? Tell me more about the location of this thing. Okay, after Bricky and Loopy. Around Inequality, different... No, it's back here, right? Solitude. Between range and size separation. Right of mismatch, the window is hiding in a bridge. Unboxy, size separation. So between range and size separation. So this area. Ah, yeah. Hiding in a bridge. No, I got it. Okay, cool. Cool. We're cool. We're there. We're good. Are you part of Solitude or are you part of whatever this mess is? Mismatch. Ooh. Well, hello, new friend. We've got some work to do here. All right. Let's start with some of the easier ones. Remember how to do puzzles. Let's remember how puzzles work. Solitude. All right. So each of these 4s can take at most 1 in, so need to go out this way. The 3 also. This 2 is taking 2. This 2 is taking 2. This 3 is taking 3. So one of these 4s goes in up here. The way this 2 works is it can't be like this, because then this 3 goes up and that doesn't work. So the 2 has to go this way and the 4 takes it. This 2 has to go this way and the 4 takes it. So this 3 needs to leave room for the 4. The 4 takes the inside and then the 3's nest. Yep, great. Okay. 12. Sure. All right, well, the 6 has to go through here. Might take these 2 spots. Might not. Has to come out here and take at least 1 more. The 3 has to come up. So this 12 has to go out to the right. Now, it could be that this 3 needs to go down 1. And this 6 comes out a little bit more. But this 12 needs to, like, thread the needle here. So the 12 needs to go at least through the 3s here, which means this goes up, and that's sealed. This 3 needs to take some space. We'll figure that out later. This 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6. Could be exactly 6 like this, and then the 3 can go up. But this space here is tricky, and it seems like what's going to happen here is the 12 is going to have to go around the 3 like that. So then this is a 3, this is a 3, this 6 is resolved, and this 3 is resolved. Yep. Great. And then we have this orange question mark, which is exactly how I feel about many of these puzzles. Pretty good. Huh! Dangery. That goes up. That goes up. These are sealed off from the numbers. That goes up, sealed off. That goes up, sealed off. All right. That's a good start. My questions are orange. I'm hesitant to agree to this statement, but sure. My questions can be orange. Orange is a valid color for questioning. So this now, each of these goes one of these directions, takes up as much space as it wants, and then cannot cross over to the next symbol. It doesn't mean that the symbols don't go in this direction. What are invalid colors for questions? Purple is an invalid color for questioning. You cannot question purple. Purple is. You identify as a problem. I'm happy for you. Okay. This 4 is actually sealed off exactly like this. There's no way for this to do anything else. So this goes that way. This goes that way. This gets sealed off, and this goes that way and is done. This 3 now has exactly 3 to work with. So that's that. This goes up. Purple fans will go to war, so you're not planning to question it. See, I'm telling you. You cannot question purple. That way is dangerous. This is the next interesting piece that we have to work with here. The fact that this is going in both of these directions, like, this can't go left and then have this go up, right? So, the fact that this is already going down means it can take all of this space and then this can go right. Because if they're both going inward on a meta level, there's no way to guarantee that uniqueness. There's no ambivalent purple. See, this is what I'm talking about. You can't question purple. Purple has no questions associated with it. Purple is all answers. Confident answers. Sometimes aggressively confident answers. This 2... Oh, it can't seal off here, because then this isn't covered. Okay, so this 2 has to go here, which means this has to get taken here. And this has to go here. So this is sealed off here, which means this has to take the rest of that space. This has to take the rest of that space. This has to take this. This has to take this. This is now sealed, so the 2 has to be here. So this has to go this way. This has to go this way. This has to go this way. This has to come up to take this space. I see how this works. I understand. Everything has come together. You've got to figure out where space can't be taken, and then a thing has to belong to a sigil, so it has to go back around to whatever that sigil is. Good. Good puzzling. Good puzzling. Quality puzzles. All right, are we ready to go in on some of the harder puzzles yet? I don't got anywhere to be for a while. Let's do a 7. Huh! I may have made a mistake. I'm sure I haven't made any mistakes yet. But I am definitely ready to make some mistakes. Okay, so let's start over here. These 2 cannot both be horizontal, which means one or both must be vertical. One or both must be vertical. What does that mean for the rest of this? Oh, precision 5? Yo, okay, that changes things. That explains a lot. Maybe I should read the rules before trying to solve puzzles, you know? I have heard that reading the rules explains the rules. But I don't have any guarantee that that's true. Reading is for losers. True. True. Winners solve on vibes. Fascinating. So these take up 4, which means they need 1 more for precision to hit. This is interesting. Can this go up like this? If so, this goes like that, and this goes like that. I suspect this doesn't work. I suspect this is illegal. And I suspect it's illegal because of this. But I have to figure out whether or not that's true. These being sealed off, they can't both go into each other, so one of them needs to not go left. But the other needs to go left, because otherwise this can't be taken by any of the other sigils. Right? One of these has to take this spot. So if this takes this spot, now it's sealed off like that, which means this has to belong to something else. And it can't belong to this, because then this is too small. And it can't belong to this, because it's overextended. And it can't belong to this, because that's overextended. So this doesn't work. So we're looking at this instead. And now this needs to belong to something. 1, 2, 3, 4. It could belong to here. And this now has to go either left or down. If it goes down, it can't get 5. If it goes left, it can't get 5, because there's still a wall in either case. So this is an illegal setup. Illegality proved. This is guaranteed. Not necessarily here, because the what am I looking for? What word am I looking for? Not dichotomy. The disprovement. Falsehood? Falsehood. The falsehood was around the connections between these two here and the space being cut off. Contradiction! Hey! Somebody knows words. Good job, Smurfton. Proud of you. Yes, proof by contradiction. You'd think I'd know this stuff. I took a logic class in college. Did I take a logic class in college? You'd think if I took a logic class in college, I would remember taking a logic class in college. But I guess that's not a guarantee either. This whole conversation is extremely suspicious. Discrete math. Oh, I definitely didn't take discrete math. I took not a lot of math in college. Part of the reason I majored in what I majored in was because I could take programming classes without needing to take the math requirements. So college was good value then? Who knows? I learned some things, probably. I probably learned some things. I think the most important things I learned were a little bit of how to make friends and also where my alcohol limits were. Like, that was a good thing to learn. All right, so these cannot go inward like that. So we're looking at like this, or like this for these palisades here. These are important life skills. Absolutely. Strongly recommend people go to college to learn things. This is safe. Let's see. Like, we could still have this take any of the remaining 3. I really love how judgmental this palisade is. That's very cool. I don't think this is my favorite palisade, but it's up there. Top 5, easy. So I don't have a guarantee on any of the 4 directions. I just know that it cannot turn this way. What about this? Can this go up? Like, if I do that, this needs to come out here. And then it can't go down, so it needs to go up, up. And that's 5. So then this needs to go out, which it can't. So this can't go up. And I think the same is true over here, right? If this goes up, now it comes up and goes out. And then this has to take... Oh, this is different because here it has to go up past this, which means it seals off. Top 5 is a low bar when there's only 6 palisades. I think there's 5 palisades, actually. Oh, no, you're right. There's 6. Wait, are there 6? There's a 1-wall configuration. There's 2 2-wall configurations. There's a 3-wall configuration. There's a no-wall configuration. Is there an actual palisade for 4 walls? Like, I could envision it. I can imagine it existing. But does it exist? Okay. I don't remember seeing one, but I'll believe that it exists. Anyway, this can't go up is the point I'm trying to make. If it goes left, do we have the same problem? No. Because now it still needs to go up, but now this is open. You can go down to there. That's the furthest it can go down. So it needs to take at least this much. So this now needs to go that way, at minimum. So this would need to go here and here. Now this goes up. And now this goes this way. And then this needs to belong to something else. So it needs to belong to this. So that goes out there. In order to get its 5th. Very much the easiest palisade to deal with. Yeah. I don't know. I like no walls. I like no walls more than I like all walls. And then other stuff can happen, but this is a viable arrangement. This is legal. Can this go down? If this goes down, at most 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this can go either of these directions. This doesn't restrict anything, does it? So maybe. I still think the most likely is here. All right, let's see if this works. If this goes up, then that goes out. That goes out. One of them can come down, but they can't both come down. So at least one of them needs to go up. The other can come down, but they could also both be up. I think there's no actual restrictions here. Knowing that this can go left or right here. If this goes left, then what? This is still pretty open. This can't go left now because there's not enough room. So this has to go down. Which means this needs to get taken by something else, and it can't get taken by this, so it needs to get taken by that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this needs to go up. 5. Oh, so this needs to get taken here. And if this is a wall... Yeah, this is also viable. This seems okay. All right, let's look at one of the other patterns then. Maybe one of the other patterns is going to be more amenable to problem solving. Like this can take both of these, which is illegal. So it can't take both of these. So the wall needs to be either here or here. One of those needs to be a wall, which means it definitely takes both of these. These two are aligned. Like, they both have to be horizontal or both vertical. If they're both horizontal, this has to be like this. If they're both vertical, this still has to be to the right, regardless. So this is guaranteed, and a wall there is guaranteed. That requires up. That requires who knows what. Okay. What about over here? What can we do over here? Having these two next to each other is fun and convenient. What else can we do over here? This is interesting. Can it take both of these? Then this has to go that way, this has to go that way, and this is broken. So no, it cannot take both of these. So one of these two needs to be a wall. So this has to go up and right. So it either walls there or walls there. If this goes up and this goes right... No, the one of these is going away from the T. At least one of these is going away from the T. Could be both. But at least one. Which now I have like... There's like a left version of this arrangement and a right version of this arrangement, and both seem viable given the symmetry along this axis. And a lot of it, I think a lot of it is going to depend on how the other palisades interfere. All right. We'll come back to that. Let's mess around with this now. These cannot both be horizontal. So at least one of them needs to be vertical. That one, for example. This one can then be horizontal, so this doesn't have to go down. But if it's vertical, then this absolutely has to go down, because nothing else can take this spot. So if they're both vertical, this is illegal, because this has to come down, and now there's no room for this to expand. It's a good point on symmetry, indicating that it can't have your starting place. Yeah, right? Like, it feels like it can, it feels like it is. It can go either direction, because one of these needs to do a thing, and it can go either to the right or to the left, depending on how you're phrasing things or whatever. Yeah, which means it requires something from the outside to dictate the actual direction that it goes. There might be more that I could prove here. Like, I might be able to prove that this goes, you know, like that, for example. But I will need, there is definitely stuff that needs outside interference in order to be proven one way or the other. Anyway, this cannot be both vertical, and it cannot be both horizontal. So one of these is vertical, the other is horizontal. And if we do something like this, what does this look like? This is now sealed, and this is now sealed. So this can grab this, or it could be something else. This, this wall might be a problem. Now needs to come up here, and it needs a sigil, so it has to be this one. That's the other really interesting thing, is I have to remember that empty space needs a sigil. Every empty space needs a sigil. Like, this can't be 5 on its own, right? It needs to be able to connect to one of these symbols. So if there's any space that is only within 5 of one symbol, it needs to connect to exactly that symbol. And I think that's not the case for any empty space. But it would have been a good starting point had it been true. This is a wall. This is a wall in this situation. This works. This is really interesting, this 5. Or this 4, rather. This 4 as well. Ah, there's no 4 in a corner, which is too bad, because that would guarantee something, I think. Because if you look at, like, the diagonals from the 4, only one of those can be included in the 4. Which means the others need to find a different place to go. Like, this would need to be included in here. Except with this arrangement, it can't. So in this arrangement, this would have to be the other spot for this. Is this fixed in this way if I do it the other direction? Like, if this goes up and this goes right, what happens? Now, this needs to belong to something that's not that, so it must be this. Which means this has to be here. And now the only way this can expand is to here. And now this has to belong to one of these two. I don't see a problem here. I guess the only problem here is that this spot must belong to this. Because there's nowhere this can reach. This can't connect to this because this is already very covered. Which means that this is illegal? Because the most this can get is now 4 because it can't take this space also? Yo, we hit an illegal. We did it. We found a contradiction. So I think this is actually needs to be the other way around. I think this needs to be like this and like this. So that's sealed, that's sealed. That and that is sealed. That's sealed, so that needs to be something else that's not this. And that needs to come up to here. Which means this needs at least that. This, if that's connected here, that's sealed off like that. Where are you going, buddy? You can't take this spot. So this needs to either connect all the way out to here or connect here. Likewise, this either needs to connect here or here. I mean, that's fairly clear. This can connect down, but can also connect over to here if necessary. So none of this is fixed either. But I am confident about this arrangement. Which is good. It's nice to be confident about things. It's a good feeling. Where else are we going from here? Did we figure that this was illegal? This now can't go up, so it has to go out that way. This can't belong to that, so it needs to come down to here. So this has to take both of these. This is 5. So this now has to come out to here. Be pink. Be pink? Hello? Pink? Thank you. Is this a problem? These can't go at cross purposes, right? They can't go horizontal and vertical. So either they're both horizontal or they're both vertical. In either case, this is taken. So this can't go right. This can't go up to that spot either, no matter what. This does seem like it's working. Or at least I haven't found a reason why it's not yet. If these both go vertical, what does this look like? Looks like that. Is this enough space? This has to take this. This needs one of these 3. This needs 2 of these 4. This can go up, and in fact needs to go up at least 1. This can go either direction. This can go either direction. This is a lot of flexibility here. This needs to take one of these 3 at least, maybe 2. Oh, this can go up also, which changes things. Like, this can take 1, this can take 1, and this can take 1. Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility over here. Anyway, all of this is built off of the hypothetical here, which it's not necessarily the case. But this, I know, is true. This cannot go up, because either both horizontal or both vertical means this space is always taken. This space, too, is always taken. Oh, which is why I have this set up that way. Ah, yes, great, great. Good and great. Does horizontal actually work here? Now this has to go up. This has to belong to either this or this. Can't belong to this. So it must belong here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Busted. All right. So this is guaranteed vertical, and this is guaranteed vertical. Which means this is a wall here, so that goes up, so this goes up. Which means this has to take the interior spot. And we are in this same situation, but not based off a hypothetical now. Now we are in this situation, knowing that this is good and correct. This does need to come down at least 1. This can still come to here. No, it can't, because this is 3. The only space this can reach is this one, which means this has to take that. Now this has to take this. Not so? Explain. This cannot be part of this, because that would overextend it. This cannot be part of this, because this needs to be 3 minimum. So this is 3, and then another 3 would overextend it. And there's nothing else for it to join up against. Oh, there's this one. It could do that. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, it could hit the middle here. Let's see if this is fake. That means this, which means that. This space now has to be taken here. This space can go up. This space has to be orange, actually. So we were talking about this one, but this one now can't go down, can't reach this, can't reach this. This one has to be orange. Here we go. Which means this has to go there. So that gives us that at least. And then these spaces in the center also need to belong to a sigil. Three, 3, 3. So any of these sigils can take at most 2 of the center, although this can take 3 of the center, actually. What's up, Sainiku? My computer is suffering today, but other than that, things are going all right. Had some technical difficulties, so stream started very late. It's looking like my video card is no longer able to support 2 monitors for whatever reason. Either a port's bad or something. I still have to play around with maybe replacing the cable. Maybe replacing the cables will work. I don't know. But it's not looking good for the state of my computing. That'll be a mess to upgrade. What else can we do here? This also is symmetrical, but what breaks the symmetry is the presence of this wall. So maybe that's a reason that it can't go left or has to go left. It's a rough time to need a new video card. Yeah, that's what I've been told. So fingers crossed that it's just a cable, and if I get a known good cable and try plugging my monitors in that way, everything will be fine. But haven't had the opportunity to test that yet. I got my computer into a working state and was like, okay, well, at least I have one working monitor, which is better than no working monitors. So, moving on from this, at least. I keep playing over here. If this comes down here, then we're actually broken. Because only one of these spaces can be taken by this. So that has to be sealed off. This can still go left. Doesn't necessarily need to take this, but it can't take this. So this can either be part of this here, or it can go all the way here. It's gotta be one of those two situations. So if it does this, now this goes down, this goes left. This is sealed off. This has to go that way. What does this mean for me? Nothing in specific. Meanwhile, if this takes that, this has to go right. And now this has to belong to something else, which I think has to be this. There's no other sigil this can reach. This has to go either up, left, or left, up. But that means that's sealed off. So this needs to belong to one of these two. Which I think was already the case. Have been up. I don't know. It's a mystery. Things are mysterious. What happens if I do that? I know I can't do this. So what happens if I do that? Let's try some other hypotheticals here. Since I can't do this, if it goes right at all, it has to go up. Which means that comes out to here. And now this has to belong to this exactly. Oh, hang on. No matter what, this has to belong to one of these two. So it comes out like that, regardless. This is always guaranteed. This isn't guaranteed yet. But these two are for sure connected here. And it connects to one of these two. So what if it connects this way? Is this a legal configuration? This comes out that way. This has to grab that. This has to grab that. This has to come to here. Now this has to go this way. So this has to take this. This comes up that way. And this needs one more. This one here needs one more. One of these two. I wanted this to be more restrictive. I wanted this to prove something. This has not proven anything. Alright, new plan. What if we try this? Does this work? If this, then this has to come up. And I have no guarantees about this, or this, or this. Awkward. Well, that's extremely unhelpful. Can't figure out how to be wrong, right? Trying to find contradictions, and I'm not willing to spin out, you know, 3 levels of hypotheticals to find them. Maybe there's something going on up here that I can figure out because of the presence of the wall. But I feel like the wall acts pretty much the same way regardless of what I do here. Well, that's not true. If this goes left, now this needs to be a part of this because there's nothing else it can join. But that's not going to work because it overextends it. So this has to be horizontal, which means this has to come out and be a part of this. Wow, that's a lot more information than I thought I had. This cannot go up, which means this has to take it. So that means the wall is here. Oh, great. All right. What's next in the list of things that have to work a particular way? I think I learned something about this going in directions, right? Like, I figured this was probably illegal for some reason. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Good answer. Good answer. And it already can't go up, so I guess it has to go down. It can only take 1, so 3, 4, 5 at minimum. This has to come up. And since this has to join here, this has to join here, which is not legal? Hold on a minute. What have I done? This could take this, but then this is stuck without a sigil. Oh, hang on a minute here. Maybe this is fake? Nope, this can't go up. No, it can. This could do that. Oh, but then this can't go anywhere. In fact, if this goes up, it can't find anywhere else to go. Did I ever disprove the thing pointing left? This one? That's what I just did. Because if we go here, it can't take either of these 2 spots. Oh, but it can take 5. Why did I think this was illegal? I might have miscounted. All right. But this is illegal? This doesn't work? Because now this can go at most left 1. Has to take at least 2 right. Which means this has to belong to something else. And this can't belong to this because then it would overextend because it's already taking these. And it can't belong to this because this is already overextended, having been 4. So I think it has to go left, actually. I think this is required. 2, 3. Can't take that. It has to be exactly 4, 5. There's nowhere else for that to go. So this has to look like this. Because it's going up. So this has to take that and that. This goes that way. And this has to come out to... Can't take that, so it has to come out to here. That's 5. That's 5. This needs to belong to something. All right, we found you a something. This spot can't connect here, so must connect here. So that goes there. This goes here. This goes here, which means it requires this. That goes that way. Oh, now we're solving some puzzles. This has to go down and take that. So this, the only legal spot for this is here. This now has to come up, which can't join this because it would overextend. And the only sigil this can reach is this one. All right. Progress is being made. This now can't be vertical because that would seal this off completely with only 4. So this has to be horizontal. Which means that has to be horizontal. Four, which means this needs its 4th and 5th here somehow. Can't be down, has to be there, so that goes there, so this goes here. This goes out that way, this comes down to here, can't go right, has to go down, and this fills the rest of the space. Wow! I kind of wish I had a timer on some of these longer puzzles. I would like to know how long that took. Will it tell me? No, it has an ID for the puzzle, but it doesn't have a timer for the puzzle. Aw, and we golded the window. No, we silvered the window. We are still a ways away from solving everything here. Alright, well that was a trial. Let's go back to easier puzzles. Yeah, a 3. I like that. I like 3s. Solitude and Palisade. Alright, that has to come up. Palisade is a pretty good base for Solitude. This can't take both of these. No, it can. It can't take both of these, so it has to take these 2. If this goes right, this has to go right, which breaks this. So this can't go right, this has to go left. There's no restriction on region size, though. So a given region could take a ton of the space, as long as there's no intersections. These are interesting, because if this goes right, if this goes horizontal, this has to go horizontal, which means this has to go horizontal, which means this can't exist. So they all have to be vertical? I think they all have to be vertical. Which means this goes this way, and this goes down. How does this work? Vertical? If this is vertical, this goes up, which breaks this. So this has to be horizontal. That goes that way. This goes there. This now has to take exactly that spot. This spot could belong to any of these three, actually. This... What are you doing, buddy? Let's fill in the known walls. Those are known walls. This has to come out here and join a sigil. But there are any number of sigils it could join. 43 minutes, 30 seconds. That's a while. That's a good chunk of time. Good heavens. This can go down. This can go like that. This can go that. This can go that. Oh, okay. That's just a solution? No. Yes. I like how I immediately switched from like, that's impossible. No, that's the solution. Because I didn't read it correctly. That's fun. That's a good time. Solitude, area number, and palisade. I love all of these things. This needs to belong to something, and it can't be the 3, and it can't be the 4, and it can't be this, and it can't be the 5. So presumably it's this guy? This needs to belong to either the 4 or the 5 or this guy, but most likely the 5. Yeah. As it turns out, that is viable. Viable and reasonable. Show me the solitude. Oh, precision 4. Ah, precision 4. Okay. Precision. I needed to read that precision was happening. That is fair. So you, what can you be a part of? Not this guy. Not this guy. You? Whatever. You? Whatever. Some other, like, weird... positioned, like, does this have to be part of this, or not exactly? It's just the corner. The corner was weird. You go up here. This is interesting. If this goes this way, now this can't get 4. Okay. In fact, the only way for this to get 4 is like that. Which means that has to happen. You can't reach either of these, so straight down to there. This feels like it needs to be a square. Feels like it needs to be that square exactly. Because this definitely needs to touch that, right? These two need to connect, because this can't go anywhere else. And it's either like this, and then this could, I guess, reach there. Or like this, and then this, I guess, could reach... Okay, we don't know yet. We'll just leave it. But it's either going this way or that way for sure. So it's either an O or a Z. If it's a Z up, this is broken. So it's either an O or a Z left, which means that's for sure. All right, figured out something. This now can't be a part of this. Or anything else, so it just has to reach this one exactly. Which means this has to take these. This can't go left here, so this has to take it. This needs to belong to something. And it's you! Can this go anywhere besides here? Here, maybe. Is that an owl? Is that an owl I spy with my little eye? It sure is! Owl spotted. Bird watching successful. Oh. They're in the trees. What does that mean for me? Huh. Solitude. So this has to come out to here, right? That. And now this. And this is everything else that's not these. Which is funny. That is humorous. I am laughing. Because this can't touch any of these, but needs to find a way over to here, right? Like, this one definitely. Anything that is more than 3 away from any one of these things is definitely part of the orange. Right? Like that. That. Three away or a knight's move. So that. This could be part of this. Right? This could be like this, for example. But then this would need to come around. Like, this is definitely part of the orange here. And then this is part of the orange. And this is part of the orange. So now we need to figure out how to position all of these Fs such that they don't interfere with each other, don't leave any empty space sealed off between them, and allow access to the orange wherever the orange needs to go. So that could be something like that. This now has to be like this. This has to do that, presumably? Nope, now this is sealed off here. But this could be like this, or like this, actually. And that allows orange through here, which means this just has to go the other direction. Nope, because that leaves this a problem. So this needs to connect like that. This works. This is fine as long as it's going through here. That needs to do that. That's fine. And then this needs to... Ooh, I think this doesn't work either. Right? Because if I do this, now this isn't open. Trixie. This can't connect like this. Alright, let's retract all of this business and try again. This connection here, I think, means it needs to do something like this. This looks legal, but now this is in a terrible position. Maybe not that terrible, actually. We still need to leave this open, which means that. Hey, yep, that works. There we go. Finally tiled them all correctly to take up the minimum amount of required space. Good stuff. Oh! Okay. That goes here. And any space in these areas that is not taken up by the polyominoes must be connected to the center. This is 21, and it's taking up 15, so this definitely needs to go into there. Yeah, they definitely need to go in. So space needs to be not sealed off, and otherwise needs to be connected. No good. Because this needs to not seal off the space, right? Needs to not seal off that space. So we're looking at something like this, maybe. Yep, that works. So now here, we need to do the same thing, right? The heck is... some ugly shapes I gotta deal with here. If I put the 3 down, it doesn't work. If I put the 3 up, it can work, as long as I go this way. Which means this needs to take up this space without inter... Oh, no, that does work. Great. Resolved. So again, the goal here is to, like, take up space maybe as close to the wall as possible, so that the rest of it can be taken. Yeah, easy. Like, this can't go 3 across. So this has to, like, do something like this. Can't do that here. But that works. And then this needs to not seal this space off. Not seal this space off. So it needs to go... yeah, it can't have 3 up. But it could do something like this. No. This. No. This. If this does something different. Well, can't seal this space off either. Maybe this goes up that way. And then this takes up space here in such a way that it's not illegal. How are you doing this so it's not illegal, buddy? This kind of checks out, but that would have to do this instead. No, neither of those work. So this can't be a 3 here. Can it be a 3 here? That would look like this. Or maybe this. That doesn't work. That maybe works, but it still leaves space sealed off. And presumably the same thing happens if I do the same thing here. Yeah, either of these leave no room for this. So it can't be 3 across there either. Can it be 3 here? No. No. Maybe. No. Yeah, because it can't seal off anything there. Okay, so the 3, this can't be part of the 3. This has to be one of the corners. And it can't be 3 here. And it can't be 3 here. So this can't be the middle piece. This has to be the end piece. Doing something like that, for example. Which is, in fact, exactly the solution to the puzzle. You be blue, though. I like that better. Perfect! Perfect. Nailed it. Easy. Easy every time. Alright, what are you doing? Hey, look. It's the diamond. We found the diamond. You like your big snakes in different colors? I'm kind of into it, yeah. No precision. So just the shapes that we see. It was real after all. True. 2. These go in some direction. This is interesting because it feels like it wants to do this. But there's other options, right? The plus can't go down because of walls, but it could go up or it could go right. No, right seals this 5 off. It could go up. Because all of these polyominoes, or all of these palisades, can be greedy and take up extra space in a way that the areas and polyominoes cannot. So what we need to do is make sure that the areas and polyominoes are nested in such a way that they don't leave any open spaces that can't be taken. And then the palisades can take up all the remaining space. But anyway, this has 2 legal options. This one and this one. Which means this is guaranteed. And that's all I know. This can't do this. Because this needs to be taken up by something. So it's either going right or left at this point here. Probably left. No, because this can't come through there either. This now needs to belong to something else. Which, like, I guess that's not illegal. But this space here is dangerous. Right? Because now I've got some nested garbage. That's fine, because now this is taken. And this can be taken by this palisade with no problems. This corner actually seems pretty cut off. Like, I don't know if this is what's going on. I'm just going to leave that there for now. That's fine. If that exists in that way, everything is all right. But, like, this 5 needs 5. This 6 needs 6. That still leaves a decent amount of space. But this bucket is maybe a problem? This bucket is almost assuredly a problem. Can't do that. Can do that as long as this takes up this space. But now, nope, this is fine, because this can go into there. This needs to come out, which it can. For example. What are you doing? That? No. This needs better nesting. Because this is sealed off either way. So we need to figure out a way for these two shapes to nest. I don't know what I'm doing over here. Knock all this stuff off. Quit making stuff up, Jim. These two need to figure out a way to nest here, such that all of this interior space is taken. Same here, same here. Here is really flexible, actually, with the pluses. No, it's not. If the plus is here, then this needs to take up all of this in space, and it can't. So the plus has to be like this. And this has to take up this space, regardless of whatever else is doing. Here, that doesn't work. So this needs to, like, do like this. That seems like it works. This needs to be taken up by something that's not the green. So that seems viable. And now this needs to come out all the way to there. Which means this needs to be able to take all of this space. Like that. And then we have this space and this space doing something weird. This 3 here. Oh, the 6 can come and take all of this. So this can come out and take up any space here that's not taken. But these two need to nest. I'm still pretty confident about this one. That looked pretty good. So this can come down to, like, can't go left now, so it has to come down to here. The 3 needs to grab this. This space needs to be taken by one of these two. This needs to come out here and grab that. This comes up to here. This comes out to here. 4, 5. Call it 6. Oh, but that leaves space here untaken. Because the 5 needs to grab this too. So this doesn't work. Yeah, this 6 needs to take this space. Worrisome. I guess if I do that, this can take the rest of this, so the green can come up. Ah, much better, much better. I like that much better. Now this comes down to here. This 5 takes some amount of space. Not that one. This 3 takes some amount of space. And then everything else gets taken by the Palisades. Heck yeah. Yeah, pretty good. I like this one. That was good. That was a fun solve. I like all the discrete areas that you need to deal with appropriately, and then figure out how to leave room for the Palisades to take up the remaining space. That's good. That was a neat collection of individual things coming together. What do we do about this? Intriguing. Whatever I'm doing, these Palisades need to take up a bunch of extra space, and also can't take the space next to them. So the 4s need to take that space. Can't believe these people are expecting you to solve a puzzle after all that, right? How dare they? This can't take this because it strands a space next to the 4. So it needs to be in the corner. This, I think, has a similar problem. Can it do that? No. I think something about the way I'm doing the palisades is wrong. Because this feels correct, but maybe this is arranged differently. Maybe this goes up, and then this takes the extra space here. Nope, that can't sit like that. It can sit like that, as long as something else is taking this space. Or this space. Or this space? That's not fine. Nothing about that is fine. This is a weird polyomino, you guys. This bad boy is positioned in a strange position. Does this work? I guess if this is taking all of the down space, then this can take the rest of the up space. Hey, there we go. Much better. Yeah, the easy one's definitely coming together, no problem. Alright, let's see if we can find some more of those, like, esoteric, weirdly positioned puzzles. Those are my favorite. That's a lot of 9s! One of these 2 9s needs to take all of the space in here, except it can't take all of the space in here because there are walls. Like, this cannot go like that, right? So if it comes in here, it needs to leave some other space open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Legal. So this can take that. This now has to take that. The walls are the key here. Every wall is a space where there needs to be 2 areas. Or 2 regions, to use the appropriate terminology. So we need to find a way to get all of the different regions into place. And then still allow the other regions to take available space as well. Right now this is trapped here. 8 needs 1 more. 9. So let's do that. 9, 9, 9, 9. And everything else is yours. 9, 9, 9! That's a lot of 9s. Then all the remaining places the light touches are yours. Oh, this is good. Probably. Mingle shape, you say? Oh, this is cute. Yeah, okay. So, we are once again in a position where this needs to take all of the remaining space. Because there's a whole lot of space here that cannot be taken by this. Or by the 3s. This cannot be an elbow. So it has to be an eye. Short eye. Cannot be vertical. Because then this can't do anything. So it has to be here. This has to be the other direction. Now this and this are both elbows, which means this is another eye. And as an eye, it cannot go all the way left. It could go there, or vertical. Discount Bricky Loopy. Yeah, you're right, you're right. This is an elbow, and it can't seal this space off. So it can't actually come out to this space at all. So it has to come out here and either up or down. Likewise, this cannot touch this spot. Right? So these two, between them, cannot take this spot. Unless it's fully sealed in. Which, like, fully sealed in is also viable. But I suspect this is not correct, because this feels like it's maybe non-unique. So maybe let's not fill all that in yet. Can't take this space either. So this is going left or right here. This can't go up there. It has a lot of options otherwise. This has to be an elbow. So that's either elbow like that, or like that, or like that. This can be an eye if this is an elbow. But if this is an elbow, it seals that off. So this can't be an eye. So this has to be an elbow in such a way that this does not force this to seal off. It cannot be an elbow that touches this spot, actually. So it has to be an elbow exactly like this. And this now can't go through there, so it has to be an elbow exactly like that. This now can't go like that, so it has to go down. This can't go up because that breaks it, so it has to go that way. This has to be an eye, so it has to do that. This now has to be an elbow, again in a way that doesn't seal off the purple. So it can't go through this spot, so it goes here. The purple then goes that way. This probably goes up. Probably goes up. We'll worry about that later. This now can't go right. Can't seal that spot off. All of the space up here needs to be purple. So nothing can take this spot or this spot. This 3. Oh, I suspect we're going to end up with an elbow here that's going to dictate what these 3s can do. Right? So we'll have to do that because this 3 elbows that way or something. Or that way. And then this can't elbow and has to be exactly that. And now this has to do this and this. And that's broken. I may have made some guesses here. It turns out it was not the owl. This is not the owl I was looking for. Alright, well, let's fill in the stuff that we know has to be purple. Yeah, this can't elbow like that. Can't take this spot or this spot. So it's either an elbow here, or it elbows down, actually. Yo, what's up, Cryptomancer? Your hardware's been temperamental lately? Oh no. Maybe we're both suffering from the same thing. Maybe both our computers have the itis. In fact, the way this is set up here, the purple needs to go down. No, the purple is going across here. It doesn't need to go down through here. Never mind. Never mind. Take it back. Yeah, I don't have proof here at all, but this is way more convenient. Because I think this has to be across here. Let's see. If this 3's across here, now this needs to go through there, which means this 3 is trapped. Yeah, okay. So if this space is taken by this 3, then this has to seal off this green 3. So we're looking at either an eye like that, or a 3, or an elbow like that. Regardless, it takes up this space. Yes, that's true, Smurfton, but I don't like that logic. I dislike solving based on meta knowledge that the puzzle must be unique. So any solution space that is not unique means that solution space isn't a solution. And I don't like using that logic. I would rather ignore that. Oh, given that this 3 has to go right, if this 3 comes down, it once again seals this off, so the purple has to come through this space, which is illegal. Okay. Did it. Figured it out. It's fine. Everything's fine. In fact, the 3 can't go up here, because again, that would send the purple down. So this 3 has to go right. So between these two, only one of them can be covered. But one of them can be covered. If I cover this, that means this purple has to come through here. So actually, I think I can't cover either of them, now that I think about it. Which means this has to be a 3 down. Which means this has to be a 3 across. Which means this has to elbow down to here. So this has to be a cross and be an elbow. There it goes. Yeah, good job, that purple. Two. Oh. It's not the button I wanted. I wanted this button. 51. And 16 of it is this area, and everything else is this thing? But this has to have 2 walls? So the 16 has to get to here? Without sealing off any space? That's 16, but this is sealed off. That's 16 with no additional space sealed off. Nailed it. How we doing, Solitude? 8 away. Holy, that's more than I expected to see. Considering I see exactly 2 puzzles that 3 puzzles that I know are still part of the region. Intriguing. That means there's some hidden boys out here. Some sneaky little hiders. Like this guy. Quite a few sneaky little hiders. So same deal here. The 5 and the 6 have to take the walls of this thing without sealing off the rest of the space. Right? So it can't be this wall and this wall unless both of the 6. And then the 5 has to be out of the way. Ah, that appears to have done it. Guild 10 windows. Oh, I've done it. I've done a thing. Not the thing I was looking for, but a thing. All right, what about you? Oh. Mingle shape, you say? The shapes, they must be a mingling. All right, this has to go either up or down or left. Likewise, this. And this has to take one of these. If it takes this, this now has to cover the rest of the space. So it can't be that. If it takes this, this works. If it takes this, this either goes down or right. This can't go down. Can go right. Actually, in general, like, this can't go down here. This has to go right. And then this has to belong to this. And now we have yet another corner. Oh, sure do love corners. This also is a corner. And neither of these can hit the center one. Because mingle shape. I can't have two bricks next to each other. So this has to come out at least to there in order to take the available space. If this goes there, this can't come up anymore, which is maybe okay. Ah, so now this needs to go there, so this can take the rest of the space. And these, oh no, this can't go there, because it's touching both of these, and one of these needs to be the brick. Oh, actually, if this is going to take one of these center ones, neither of these can be the brick. That's distressing. And it definitely can't be this one. But now this space has to be covered in a way that's not... I may have screwed this up. In what way did I screw this up? Yeah, this doesn't work. Likewise, this can work. Oh no, because then it still needs a brick there. So yeah, that cannot work. So this much I'm confident on. Which means that. If this goes right, it needs to not be a 2. But also, it cannot make this be a 2. So maybe this has to be the brick. And then this can take the rest of the space. This brick's there. This comes out this way. And it can't be a brick. This can't be a brick either. So whatever this is doing, it needs to be at least a 3. And this probably does that, so it can come out here. Bingo. And the shapes are not mingling. Which is good. Or rather, the shapes are mingling because they're different? Is that how mingling works? Unclear. Let's see. I'm getting pretty close to my time limit here. So I think we could maybe take one more. Let's find one more of these sneaky boys. I spot 3 of them. 4 with that 6. Which means there are at least 2 hiders. Like this one? Oh, that's another 6. Let's not jump into a 6 here at the end of time. I guess I'll take one of the 5s and not worry too much about what else is hidden. $15! And it needs to grab the wall here and touch each of these walls. Interesting. So the 15 could go here. Right? And then that, because the dark purple needs to be here. How does the 15 touch everything at this point? This way? That looks legal so far. No, that's 17. Okay, not that one. That's 16. That's still too many. That's 15, but it needs to take that somehow. Could do that. Nope, because it still needs to take one here. I think the problem is extending it up here. So maybe this isn't the wall. Okay, that's 15. But it's still not touching the wall here, because there needs to be one more wall. And if it goes here, it needs to grab both of these. That's 14. How do I squeeze 2 more spots out of this? That's still 14. Yeah, this wall makes the most sense, I think. Because if I go this way, then we need to do that, and this goes like that. And I still need to find a way to make this green. That's 15, but I still need a way to find a way to touch this wall. Maybe like that? This being 13 is a problem, though. Yeah, I need 3 more. I need 3 more to get into here, right? So how do I shave some space and or save some space? Like, this would work, if it worked. This would work, if it worked. Alright, the wall can't be up here, is the important part. One of these 2 has to be the wall. How do I get through this space? No, because I still need to take... Yeah, this doesn't work. If I take that, I then also need to take that. I take that. I still need to find a way to take this spot. With 2 more required. Is there another way to optimize this space? Just be a 16! Then everything would be fine. Alright. I am relatively confident at this point that the puzzle needs to look like this in some way. How else can I shave some space? That is a problem. Still a problem. Ah, as it turns out, the answer is simple. Just draw it again, but correctly. Cool. What the heck? What did I do differently? I guess not connecting here is what I did differently. Because, like, it needs to connect across, but if I connect here... Oh, I can... Instead of connecting here, I connect here. And then I'm closer to this area. Yep, sure. Yeah, alright, I agree with that, I suppose. Call that good? Alright, and it is about that time, so we'll, if you have issues drawing the owl, erase it, then draw the owl, right? Exactly. I think the same goes just in regular bird watching. If you can't find the bird, then stop looking through the binoculars and then look through the binoculars again and the bird will be right there. That's pretty much how it works. I think that's a speedrun trick for bird watching. It resets the appearance rate of the bird when you stop looking through the binoculars. That is definitely real technology that you can use in real life. My gift to you. All right, but yeah, that's gonna be it. We're gonna be done here.